what I've learned and creator of the week has to go to Shannon Sharpe. Has to, okay? I mean, by the time this is played, I'm going to say hitting well over 40, 50 mil off of the Katt Williams episode.
Wow.
And the reason why I want to bring him up is because he is somebody to really pay attention to when we're talking about the content game, right? So I actually was on my live talking about this, and I was like, yo, I got to bring this to the podcast, where I'm saying, yo, 40 clips alone on YouTube about that episode. So meaning he had over a 2-hour episode with Katt Williams, right? Of course, how he broke it down, he knew what was going to break the internet. He knew. He actually put a picture up that is like, get ready for this interview to break the internet. Paraphrasing, but he said something like that with him and Katt Williams as a picture, right? And so he clipped certain parts that he knew was probably going to hit the blogs heavy. And boy, it did. Okay? To the point where everything that Katt Williams was saying was getting responded by the people he actually did call out or didn't call out, right? Shout out to Mike Epps. He was like, yo, I would just wish you would have mentioned my name, actually.
That's funny.
And so it's masterful to see, because he was very intentional with what he clipped up, how many he clipped up. Like I said, he did 40 clips alone on YouTube. I believe he did over 16 to 20, probably a little bit over than that, of social media clips, like the vertical ones, right? Because he knew the blogs were going to take care of the rest, and in which they did. But this is pretty much not the first time that he's done that. I think we brought it up before when Jada Pinkett did her thing, and he came out with an interview with Tommy Davidson, who I don't believe anybody was talking about at the time. And he happened to talk about Jada Pinkett and Will Smith on the exact time that the Jada Pinkett stuff had blew up, that, you know, when she dropped her book. So I got a clip because Shannon Sharpe also, what's cool is that from when I was introduced to him, he was on Undisputed. I think that was what the show was called, right? Some drama happened over there. He left, went to First Take with Stephen A. Smith. But I think that drama caused him to control a lot of his content, to where now he has a very successful podcast. He has Nightcap with Ocho, and which is pretty much a night show, like a virtual night show. And all we are seeing now is Shannon Sharpe. You got to really respect what he is doing and how he is creating range for his brand. So, of course, a lot of people were hating on him for the Katt Williams interview, which is wild. I can only congratulate him. But this is what he had to say to address the haters.
There are people that do what you and I do,
yeah,
that had so much to say. And it's only because of jealousy. Because I guarantee you, if Katt was on their podcast and did exactly what he did on my podcast,
right,
they would have never said what they're saying. My subscribers on Club Shay Shay jumped up 500,000. That's what you mad about?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to leave it alone, Ocho.
Yes, sir.
Think about how much more success you could have if you got that envy, that jealousy, and that hate out your heart.
Come on now. Come on, preacher.
Hey, look at this. I got this out the mud. I came from the trenches.
Right.
And you got more hate in your heart with all that you got, that you've been blessed with so much, and all you do is hate on a man that you think better. How about get better? Create better content.
it's crazy because we can learn from that too. Not necessarily from that clip. I mean, of course, but more of how do you look at your content and how do you milk it to the full extent. If he took 2 hours of a podcast and he created the 40 clips, right? And it's crazy if and shout out to Isaiah, who I know is going to put it on the screen, where he had like Katt Williams talk about Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Kevin Hart, and he put that all in one clip. And then he broke it down into when he spoke about each and every single one of them. So Katt Williams talk about Kevin Hart. Katt Williams talk about Cedric the Entertainer. Katt Williams talking about so-and-so. Like, he grouped them and then he broke them down. Why? Because he knew not everybody was going to be watching a 2-hour episode. 2 hours is pretty long, especially with that type of energy. So let me get straight to the point. You want to know what's happening? Boom. He does this a lot with his podcast, but of course he didn't go so much into how many clips before, except for this one, because he knew. And I look at that as we don't even do enough with our content. We drop it and that's it, right? Or you look at our content, you drop it once and that's kind of it. And where you need to learn how to, and not in a aggressive manner I'm saying that, but I mean, all of us have to learn how to take a long form video, chop it up into smaller bits, chop it up into YouTube clips, chop it up into quotes, do audio clips. We have to milk out as much as we can because we don't know in this day and age what's going to hit. We can only hope. And there is a certain formula as far as, you know, the getting viral, but there still is that guessing game because of the algorithm, that guessing game because of when you post, what time you're posting, that guessing game if you, you know, you didn't put the right captions and everything. You could do everything right, understanding why people come into social media or watch YouTube. It's mainly to get entertained, educate, and inspire and empowered. You can add all of that into your content and it has the possibility of going. But sometimes we don't want to bank on it. And we always have to have some type of backups. And that's why you need to milk certain things out. So for me, I was like, yo, now granted, I didn't watch the full episode, right? I have to protect my energy. Like, that's just some wild stuff going on. But yeah, I did do research as far as like trying to understand what happened and why is it going crazy the way it is. Katt Williams actually, because his name is so trending right now, he jumped on another podcast that did a million in a couple of hours. Wow. Yeah, it's just crazy. Now, the funny thing is, I think Shannon Sharpe was asked like, "Yo, how do you beat that?" So now the conversation for most is like, when you reach such a successful piece of content, your viral moment, is there pressure to keep that up? And he was like, to be honest, like the only way this is going to work if, you know, Jordan comes on, if LeBron comes on, like just people who don't normally talk and they come and they actually have a story. He mentioned, which was cool. He mentioned that the comedians do so well because of, I know how to tell a story. I know how to entertain, get you wrapped in, give you all the information that you need to know, right? Yeah. Give you that warm feeling, that funny feeling. They give all the elements. And so he doesn't look like there's the pressure is weighing him as far as, oh, how do I beat that? Or what do I do? But I do believe like a normal person would have that anxiety of like
100%. Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Same thing you did, just the clips that are going around and listening, and got a pretty good gist of, what essentially the full thing is. But no, not the full thing, just little clips.
Yeah, no, I can shout out to Katt Williams, but that energy, I don't know. But the if you pay attention, go back. Like I said, it's been a week or two since the podcast, that interview dropped. So go back, see it. I mean, they've created memes, they've created clips, they created pictures, they created so many different things. Yeah. It's more of just looking at it, not only from an entertainment side, but more from a lesson side as well. Yeah, from an education side, because there's something, he's creating his own blueprint. How he, for one, we don't even consider that as a podcast. Like his production is just so amazing that it probably is a podcast, but I don't think anybody truly considers it as a podcast, because we'll go to YouTube or we'll watch the clips of what's happening. So I think it's something we need to pay attention to. I'm just saying. Something to pay attention to.